Hi everyone, it is me, Sailor Moon, Serena here, and today we're gonna talk about why are we fighting Anne for? Now I know that we made this film before, but I just want to talk about why we think talking about the Doomtree Outsiders, ALEN and Anne, also known as the Tree of Life Outsiders. Now, as a lot of folks know, that it only belonged to the drawing show only, but only the 9 between 90 drawing show, because it's not offshooted into Hearth 1, 2, and 3 or Forever or Stars. And you would think that a lot of folks now who like everything to be law or the way that it was said or done in the drawing show would be up in arms about it. So, the grounds to why ALEN and Anne, the Doomtree Outsiders, the Tree of Life Outsiders, were offshooted in halfway in, and Sailor Moon, sometimes known as Sailor Moon R, but no one really knows what R means. Now, Naiko, if I'm saying Naiko Takeuchi, was still writing and drawing was still working on the books. And since the drawing show was done faster than she could draw and write the books, they did this one till she could get caught up and started making the books on the 2-disc following of Sailor Moon. So that's why they're in there. Now, a lot of folks ask about the Doomtree Outsiders, or the Tree of Life Outsiders, ALEN and Anna. Why, where they come from? Well, some world a long time ago, that's all we know, that they lived on a world, and they were given life by God through a tree called the Tree of Life. And everything was restful in the beginning. And some of them started to chose to do evil. And it just kept getting worse and worse until they fully besmirched the world that they were living in. And that the Tree of Life left with some followers that were still entrusted to the tree. But they went to many worlds, and many worlds didn't have what they needed, and a lot of folks ended up dying. And ALEN and Anne were the only last two out of all those other folks. So they never really understood what love or kindness was. They knew what fear and hatred and sadness was. They knew those three things. Now, in the Deke one, when they first show up, I believe it was Anne who said it was ALEN who goes, Queen Beryl was right about Earth, meaning that they had met Queen Beryl sometime in the past. And how did they get the sheetlings? That's what I call them. The beings that ALEN calls forth by playing his flute. Or whatever the English word would be for that. Stick? I don't know. So, how did they get those? Did Queen Beryl give those sheetlings to them too? Well, we'll never know. And Deke would call them the Dark Kingdom, but they really had nothing to do with the Dark Kingdom, to be honest with you. I guess calling them the Doomtree Outsiders every time they were around, I guess a lot of them didn't know that they were outsiders. I guess. Well, after ALEN and Anna learn about what love is and what caring is and what forgiveness is, And I know a lot of folks are saying, oh, didn't they cut out something when they were leaving? No, because even in the Viz one, it just goes from, God brings Anna back, and everyone forgives each other. And then they leave saying goodbye to each other. Yeah, there was nothing cut out, from that. And they're never really heard from again. No, they're not, you know. So your guess is good as mine of what happens to them afterwards. Now, to make a long saga short, in Sailor Moon R, the film, there is another outsider known as Fiore, if I'm even saying his name right. Some French's borrowed name, I believe. And he also comes, he ends up, looks kind of like Alan and Anne. Is he one of their same kind? Well, because no, Fiore goes on to say he was the only one of his kind. But I gotta believe that he ended up being one of them, because if he looks like them and has the same kind of clothes they have, and the skin cast is the same, then I would guess he would be kin to them in some way. And that, Darien meets him when Darien's still at the bearerless house, and they become friends. And then Fiore has to leave, and Darien gives him something to think of their friendship they had. Now, I could go on and really stretch the film out and talk about Fiore, but really we're talking about him under the grounds that, is he a Tree of Life outsider? And if so, does he tend... So yeah, he does show up in the film. Now, if the drawing film is offshoot from a book, I can't tell you. At the end of the day, what do you think about the Doom Tree outsiders, or the Tree of Life outsiders, Alan and Anne, or Alan and Anna? And, did you like them when they were in Sailor Moon? Because they weren't in it that long. Or did you not like it? Or you one of those folks that was all pissed off because it didn't follow what was written and drawn in the books? If you don't watch the other film made yesterday, you can, when Anne talks over Zeeves over here. And I'll see you later.